Welcome back. This is part 2 of 29 days out. I just recently clocked out of work. I'm tired. I am so tired. Let's start with something relatable. I won't name drop it. It's going to expose me and the person. And honestly, it's just embarrassing overall. I recently went through something really weird and deep. There's something called limerence. And that happens when you can't stop thinking about somebody. I went through this earlier on. I think I talked to you guys earlier today about this one chick when I was 21, but I'm starting to feel the same way. This time I'm having some sort of a limerence for like a like a celebrity. You might even know, but I was listening to this artist and their music, and I couldn't stop thinking about them, like in a really obsessive way. I kind of caught myself in the midst of it, and I was able to kind of stop myself from having to deal with it. But I just couldn't believe that I was dealing with something like that, because it's been so long since I had that type of feeling. I looked it up. I talked to AI, and it was telling me shit like, oh, you're just doing that because you are bored and miserable with your life, and you gotta think about someone as a form of escape. It has a huge thing to do with toxic shame. That there's YouTubers explaining about toxic shame, how you don't want to be seen a certain way. So that's where it came from. I just thought it was interesting because I didn't get obsessed with anyone for the past several years, and suddenly I felt really attached to a certain celebrity singer. So it pissed me off, and it also surprised me. I was baffled by the situation. I say it's a situation. It really caught me in the middle of the most important time of my life, because all of last month I was kind of learning things. I wanted to get into acting, like I said, and I was trying to learn how to use a camera, trying to get it set up. And while I was doing all that, I wasn't eating too much. I know I look like I'm pretty fat, but sometimes I don't eat very much. And simply put, I was tired, sleep deprived, working the job, and trying to get things set up for myself at the same time. You're probably wondering, like, what's so fucking hard about setting up a tripod? But that shit is hard, bro. I was trying to save money, and I needed gadgets and accessories for this budget camera I was getting. And I just learned a lot. And in the midst of it, I was writing screenplays because I thought that's what you needed as an actor. I was wrong, but it was cool as an experience. I might use what I came up with for later. Fuck. I think you guys can tell I'm pretty burnt out right now. It's been 8.5 hours at that workplace. It's making me miserable, but I've been really burnt out. And in the midst of being burnt out, I got obsessed with something, someone, and it's not even that person's fault. She was just a symbol, right? She's just like an image of something that I couldn't accept in myself, or maybe just because I was neglecting it enough. It reminds me of one of those man, I can't say it's an anime, but it's one of those like Buddha concepts where it's like the deeper you meditate, the hornier you get, because for years you just didn't bust the nut. So the less you bust the nut, the more you wanna bust one. I think it was one of those. So it's like, and how do I fucking get into this without getting weird? Listen, I'm gonna just put it to you this way, okay? When you lose enough weight and you're deprived of sleep enough and you're dehydrated enough, your testosterone, your blood sugar, your blood pressure, it's also fucking low, that even if you touched yourself, you could barely work up a boner. So like, you can imagine that this obsession with the singer is like a purely emotional attraction. So it's like It's like I like this chick, but I'm not necessarily thinking about fucking her. I just like what I'm hearing and I just like what I see. This shit is humiliating. And I'm sure it took me like a week to kind of just like catch it and just get over it. But I just wanted to share that because I don't know how many of you are out there are going through this like weird loneliness phase where the harder you grind at your personal goals, the more seriously you take your personal goals, the more further you dig into being high focused and less distracted, the more easy it is for you to actually get distracted. It's hurtful, it's painful. And yeah, the shit really popped up at the worst time ever. And fuck. I thought I'd share that with you today. I hope I ruined your day. No, I'm kidding. I just needed to share that. You guys leave a comment down below if you relate or if you're just entertained by this at all. Sooner or later I'll reveal to you guys what I have planned out. You know, it's not something that I'm willing to share immediately, but I definitely want to start telling everybody what the fuck is up. At this moment, I'm living with my parents and I have this toxic family member. Now, she doesn't think she's toxic. Nobody thinks they're toxic, but they're in this situation. Again, I'm not name dropping, but she brings her roommate around her all the time because she needs him to pick up his shit and carry her luggages or whatever. But she's crashed at my place almost permanently because she's trying to find a job. Well, she's found employment, but not quite enough to get back on her feet. So she's still crashing at our place. I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of, but me and her don't get along. I don't forgive her. There's a lot of things she said. It's not what or how she said it. It's when and how she set up saying it to me that I can't forgive. It to me, it feels like an entire grudge. It's because it's exactly what it is. And she's living in my living room permanently. And I don't know, it just makes me so uncomfortable. I don't feel safe. In retrospect, I think that it's helping me understand myself better because it's teaching me how to deal with difficult things in life. I think basically it's like my family member who I fucking hate so fucking much living with me all the time. I think it's causing me to appreciate life better because once I'm ready to make bigger, more risky moves in life, it's going to teach me that, I could deal with difficult people. It's basically building me my muscle to deal with adversity in life. That's kind of weird because I'm 28. I should be knowing how to deal with difficult shit by now, but maybe this is a training ground for me. So I'm cool with that. Personally, emotionally speaking, I think my family members is in the way. Like physically, like stop being around me. I just want them out of my face, to be honest. That this is the God honest truth. I'm just having a really hard time because I'm about to make this big decision. My family, even though they stayed at the house for like 2 months straight and they finally found a place, they still can't find enough, I guess, hours at their job and enough money to really like move out. So they constantly have to live here. I know I'm a hypocrite because I'm the one leeching off of my parents as well. But who gives a fuck? They're my parents. And I specifically set my boundaries with them, blocking their numbers 2.5 years ago. And they still think they're entitled to come here and shit. I'm a nice person. You run out of money, you need a place to stay. I'm trying my best not to make a fuss out of it. But the reality is, I fucking hate them. And I'm uncomfortable every day. And I try my very best to flip that shit around and just take it as like hey, the universe is teaching you something. But I wonder what the fuck the universe is trying to teach me when I have a dad who constantly complains about running out of money. Like I'm supposed to be responsible for that shit. A dad who keeps complaining about money, but he doesn't want to do anything. Obviously he's retired, but his attitude is hard to deal with. and then sending me family members who I set boundaries with them 2.5 years ago, and they're still fucking coming around. You know what I secretly feel? This is how I feel about my dad. This is how I feel about my older toxic family member, and the guy that follows her around all the time. This is how I really feel. I think they secretly love me. Okay, because when I was with them and around them and dealing with them, I was nice, I was sweet, I'm smart, I'm sweet, I'm fucking easy to deal with, and honestly, I'm really good at sympathizing. You know, I never judge people. I don't cause issues. And whenever someone's being difficult, I kind of just let them breathe. That's how I treat people. At least that's how I've been seeing it so far. I can't say from outside whether I know if I'm a good dude or not, but I think I treat them a lot better than they treat me. That's what it comes down to. And if there's anything they do to treat me just as well, they've also put me into a corner and forced me to defend myself quite a bit. It's too much pressure. So anything good they did for me, I think it canceled out, you know, compared to all the bad shit they did to piss me off. And sometimes it's just the little comments that they make. You know, this is why I cut them off. And that's why I decided I want them out of my life. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have nobody in my life. Not socially speaking. Nobody. So I took a long time to really, and I took notes about, should I maintain, I will put it on note, right? Maintain my relationship and my friendship with this guy and this girl. They're the only ones I have. I want to make sure I have some human resources. And I kept thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And then I decided, I was like, you know what? I think being alone is still 1,000 times better than anything. So they were kind of like the only two people I had in my life, I believe, friendship-wise. And ultimately, the way they treated me wasn't enough for me. It wasn't doing it for me. So I left. And by left, it means I blocked them and I stopped hanging out with them. They still think they should come and pop in and live under my parents' roof and just be around me. They still think that's acceptable. It just seems like I'm not making a fuss out of it. So that's what's allowing it to happen. I think I'm cool with it. I think I'm fucking cool with it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the fuck happens. I figured I'd let that out. It's such a difficult situation right now. I don't know if I'm under too much pressure or maybe I'm just putting all that pressure on myself. But one day I'll be able to reveal to you guys everything I'm doing, everything I'm setting up for. We got big plans. I don't think I have everything figured out, but the plans is big innately, in and of themselves. And family members still think they're cool with me. They're fucking not. They're just entitled. You know? I wish I could just shoot this big movie where I just go off on them so you know what exactly I'm dealing with. My parents is a different situation. You know, my mom's a bit nosy and she's a little possessive and she's a little insecure and she says a lot of stuff. But the woman cuts fruit in the fridge, washes my dishes, and sometimes gets food, you know, prepped for me so I can cook. You know, and if I wanted her to cook for me, she would do so. So she does a lot for me. So I can't just say, oh, my mom's not someone I care for. That's not fair. She takes care of me. She does things for me. And, you know, she does things. She does me well. And I think my father does the same thing. However, he's cranky and he's a little bitter. So I might not get along with him as much. I never do. You know, between me and you guys, me and my dad don't even look at each other. Sometimes I try to talk to him because he needed to know what I needed to let him know about what I was trying to do with my life. But he barely wanted to talk to me. Again, I secretly think that the old man loves me. You know, he let me live with him for the last however many years. But ultimately, I don't think that the motherfucker let me live with him because he loves me. yeah, he loves me, but he's expecting me to love him back. You know, the thing about us Vietnamese, I say us, but it's really them, is the ones that brought us here. My dad's old school Vietnamese, or fresh, just native, right? So Vietnamese people like to stick together. That's kind of how foreign countries, third world country Asians, or third world country people usually ever kind of like to operate. Yeah, they like to, 10 people live in the same house type shit. First of all, fuck that shit. Anyways, had to let that one out. I think my dad was making it clear that he was really expecting me to, like, when he gets older and when I get older, I keep the job, I save the money, and then I keep him company. Like my dad was thinking, if he takes care of me, I should live with him forever so I could return the favor. There's a concept in Vietnamese where if your parents take care of you, you have to take care of them. You return the favor. You don't just move out the house at 18 and say, fuck them, right? I'm trying to move out the house at 28 and say, fuck them. And that's bothering him. He wants me to stick around. That's why I think he secretly loves me. And obviously, systematically, he expected a lot of love in return continuously. I had this little clarification with my mom the other day. It's like, hey, I wanted to go to music school at 18 and I chose a normal major in college so you could be happy, and it all failed. It all fell apart. I'm 28 now. It's now or never. I'm not waiting till I'm 40 to achieve my dreams of becoming Bruce Lee. Like if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it now. Okay, I already have a bad back, I have a bad neck, I have bad wrists, and I'm as fit as I'll ever be. Once I turn 30, fuck. Hope that doesn't clip. But my mom kind of understood. She's mom. She's like, you're right. It's getting late in your life. If you want this, you might as well do it. So I guess she doesn't feel guilty, but she kind of understands my intentions. Me and my mom, in terms of Chinese and Vietnamese astrology, we're opposite signs. So I think my little dominant yelling and loudmouth stuff kind of works. Dad, same thing, but he's kind of a coward. He's like, like I say something and he kind of like looks away, no confrontation. Basically, some people are sneakier than others, and they just, instead of competing, they only pick fights they know they can win, or just pick fights when they know the other person is less capable of even responding. They position themselves a little better. Is the type of person my dad is. I'm cool with that. It's just me oversharing. Again, I respect my parents. They did a lot for me. They gave me food and a roof over my head with AC and a working car. And without their genetics, I might not have the personality and looks and abilities and talents that I have. They might innately already gave me all this strength, and in order to compensate for all the talent they gave me by birth, they had to not give me the ability to express myself. It's kind of like God's game, the prank that he plays. It's like, hey, I know I gave your parents the ability to give you all this beauty. I say that shit like I'm gifted, but you're gonna have to fight to be able to express it. Kind of like I gave you a singing voice, but now you have to fight for the opportunity to sing. You're built for the stage, but you'll have to sort of fight to get up on the stage. That's what I feel. This is a great video. I'm sharing a lot of stuff. All right, I think I let out quite a bit. I'm a little dizzy. I think my blood pressure is still low. Fuck, I'm dizzy. All right, maybe this is my way of staying alive. I feel like I'm almost dead, y'all. And I don't even think there's anything wrong with me. I'm just fucked up mentally. I hope you guys are having a great day. You know, I've been thinking about this lately. Me and my boss, I've been frustrated with him lately. I don't think he did anything wrong, but I think I've been kind of like on a high on anger. So I remember a few minutes ago I told you guys about like the limerence phase, where the more focused I became on my goals, the more I fell in love with symbols of women. I might also be doing the same thing on the opposite end and just getting angry at the wrong stuff. So I'm having love attacks and anger attacks. Basically, when the brain can't produce any more adrenaline, it starts trying to survive. So it starts sending more things, like more chemicals out the brain, just firing serotonin or whatever chemicals is the brain pulls out in your HPA axis to try to help it survive. So I'm like angrier than I'm supposed to be, happier than I'm supposed to be. Fuck. So, you know, some things is just triggering more than it's supposed to be on the happy end, the bad side, the good and bad emotions. Sometimes I'll end up catching myself laughing at stuff where it's not even that funny, you know? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think ultimately this is all kind of just coming together. It's kind of like one of those, I told y'all I love Kung Fu. It's like one of those Kung Fu movies where the only way for you to get to the other side is to be as upset as humanly possible so that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. What do you guys think? Have y'all ever starved yourself or skipped lunch at work and worked so hard or exercised so often, but then didn't get the nutrition you needed in the timely manner that you should get it in? And then like you overwork yourself, and then instead of actually recovering or burning out and missing work, you just keep showing up to work and you keep working out, and then you keep eating healthy, and sometimes you have to go for a cheat meal, but technically it just isn't enough to recover you because the fasting or the working out or the physical activity is just too draining to you, and it's almost like you can't really eat enough at once at the end of the day to really recover. Have you guys ever worked that hard physically and mentally and deprived yourself of that much sleep for long enough and consistently and long enough for you to, like, you know, kind of just like not feel yourself anymore? Let me know. Let me know. I feel like I'm not the only one. Let me know. A part of me kind of wishes that there's just somebody that kind of understands what I'm dealing with. Arguably, this over exhaustion, this extreme fatigue, feels like I deserve it because I've been doing it to myself, right? All right, so picture this every day, okay? You're waking up at like 5 a.m., 5 days a week, working. Then you clock out at 3, right? You work from 6:30 to 3. And you go home, you either try to learn or work out. But usually, you're so fucking tired that it's like, is it any of this worth it? And then part of you is like, okay, most people make the same sacrifice because they want to be successful in the future. That's what sets them apart. So then you think that this is pretty much the right thing to do. I think I'm doing the right thing, guys. It's fuck everything. I'm gonna master my life, my art, my personal craft, and I'm gonna be the best at what I do. Everything else is secondary. Even if the job is what kept me alive this entire time. You know what? Fuck it. You know, I'm not heartless. I'm dealing with so much exhaustion. A part of me hopes that sorry, I'm a little distracted. I saw an attractive young woman. That's bro, I'm having like a moment, bro. A part of me hopes that fucking focus. A part of me hopes that the bulk of y'all watching this cannot relate. I don't wish anybody to work this hard, be this tired, and try to be this ambitious and try to learn and accomplish as many things that I'm hoping to do for myself and then burn out and crash out and cope. It's gotten to the point where I'm vlogging about how horrible I'm feeling. I've never opened up this much to the internet ever since 7 years ago. And even then I was being super positive because I didn't know shit about life. Now I've been stepped on. I've been somebody's doormat constantly, and I've had enough of it. So I'm opening up in a different way. I'm not like innocent and like forgiving and full of love like I used to be. Oh, fuck. Man, that was really loud. I hope none of this clips. Fuck it. I think it's better if y'all don't relate. It's better if you don't relate to what I'm doing. Because why should you? Why should you suffer so much? The real reason I'm doing all of this is because my future children and my future wife don't have to suffer as much. I'm suffering so my offspring don't. I'm losing my fucking mind. But I'm just so glad that I finally found the balls to turn on the damn camera and tell somebody how I'm feeling. I'm so tired. And there's so much caffeine that I have issues falling asleep. That's why I average 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night and then wake up all unfulfilled. I'm at home right now. Oh my god. So that was so retarded. I don't know why I felt the need to broadcast that shit. But god fuck I'm at home right now and I'm just so glad to be home. Yo, I got one of those like suicidal eyes. Yup, y'all getting the full-on double chin angle. I hope you like that shit. I hope it makes you like want to drive to like Burger King or something. Uh, shit. I hope some of y'all relate because that would be beautiful. I hope most of y'all don't because that would be better. I feel like the harder I work, I'm really just fighting so I could have a woman and kids in my life that don't have to suffocate as much, so that all the work I put in is for them to have the freedom to do what they want to do without suffocating, in order to have the freedom to express themselves the way they want to. I also feel like, yeah, those of you who are already happy, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And those of you who aren't, just know that you're probably like one of those first generation heroes. Is like you had to fight the war for people to get the happiness that might have to be earned first. I don't know how shit works. Okay, I like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I like it when uh we look at the last incarnations of the Avatar and we find out that the previous generation was more talented, worked harder, and had to deal with way more heartbreak and problems than the next coming generation. I'm not saying Korra ain't have it hard. I'm just saying like Aang had it difficult. I mean, that motherfucker froze himself for years and then had to fulfill his prophecy. So he was really, motherfucker had to run away, and then other people had to keep surviving, and some of them had to live for extra long. Ultimately, my theory right now is I think that if if you're suffering right now, you're probably just going through a parallel reality where you're basically working towards building a upfront talent value for your next incarnation. So let's say you suffer right now, a different version of you in a different dimension, higher or lower dimension, or the future life that you do after this one, because you right now is basically the past life of a different life. And so when you're building your talents, this patience is going to pay off. It's kind of like real estate. It's like the land's going to be here, and eventually the land's going to producing value for you, but the return on investment may not show up until you're dead. So then the people around you might eat off of it, or you will have to eat off of it later on. Anyways, whoever's working really hard, just know, make sure you don't lose yourself. It's like one of those Dark Souls quotes, like don't you dare go hollow. Don't don't go hollow. It's one thing to work hard. It's another thing to just stop expressing yourself. You remember why you're doing it. You suffer, but then there's also, you express yourself. So make sure there's a trade-off. One for society, one for you. One for society, one for you. At least that's kind of like the name of the game. I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm already at home. I just wanted to say more stuff. Stay strong. Especially if you're the type that needs to hear this, just stay strong. Don't think too negative. I know I throw out a lot of self-deprecating humor, but don't continue to love yourself. If you want to carry forward and there's no one really there for you, do it for me. Carry forward, stay strong for me. And I'll say, fuck, that's so cringy. I'll see you guys in the next video. 29 days out. See you soon. Bruce Crazy signing out.